Learn English with simple stories. After listening, I will explain new words and give you questions to check your understanding. So, let's begin. Listen carefully. A village made of ours. Horace was a successful young man in a modern city. Everything in his apartment was smart and always on schedule. At 6 a.m., a bell rang. He got up. At 7 a.m., the stove turned on by itself. To Horace, this life was proof of his hard work. The hard work he traded with no friends, no calls, no visits to family. One Friday night, Horace came home and found an old brown box. Inside was a broken pocket watch with strange words, "Time is owed." There was also a note with the name of a village. He couldn't sleep that night. He stared at the old watch. He was so used to digital clock and schedule, which were always full of deadlines. By sunrise, he packed a bag and boarded a train. Horace arrived at the village at 8 a.m. It was a small place, but full of life. The air smelled like bread and soup. As Horace walked through the village, he realized everyone was eating. Horace smiled at a woman. She looked at him, lifted her spoon, and kept eating. He waved to two boys. They turned away and kept chewing. Feeling lost, he stepped into a small eatery. There, behind the counter, stood a young woman. "Good morning, you're not from here, are you?" "How do you know?" Horace replied. "I'm Mirai," she said. "Of course I know. You are not eating in the eating hour." The eating hour? Horace blinked. Mirai patiently explained, "Our village has specific work for 24 hours. Each hour has one purpose, like 1 hour for eating, 1 for working, 1 for resting, so on." Suddenly, the bell outside rang loud and clear. Before Horace could say anything, Mirai grabbed his hands. "It is easier to show you. Come with me." It was 9 o'clock. "Now it is the hour of records," Mirai said. Every house had someone with a pen. Some wrote in small books, some typed on old machines. "Everyone writes down what they did yesterday," said Mirai. Horace looked at Mirai, who was also writing. It had words like talked 300 sentences, sat 3 hours, smiled once. Horace was shocked. "You do this every day?" "Yes," said Mirai. "It keeps things in order." After a while, the bell rang again. It was 10 o'clock. The hour of thanks had begun. Mirai smiled at Horace. Horace then saw other villagers walking around. Some gave letters, some gave bows, some said kind words. "Thank you for coming to my store today," Mirai smiled at Horace. "This is so wholesome," Horace smiled to himself. But then he saw a boy walk up to an older boy. The boy said, "Thank you for playing with me yesterday." The older boy did not even smile, just turned away. That older boy often bullies him, Mirai whispered. But the young one has no other friend, he had to say thank anyway. Horace felt uneasy. Is this kindness real? Mirai looked down. Real or not, we have to say it. With that, the bell rang again. It was 11 o'clock. The hour of silence, Mirai said as she pulled Horace into her house. They sat inside a quiet room, the lights dimmed. Mirai gently explained it was the perfect time to rest the body. No one knocked, no one called, no one disturbed. You should also get some rest. Horace closed his eyes. This is the most reasonable hour so far, he thought. But then a sound broke the stillness, a soft sob. Horace opened his eyes and stood up. I think someone needs help. Mirai gently grabbed his hand. No. Even sadness and sharing must wait for its hour. Horace sat back, heart heavy. He thought of his own life, his long days working to a schedule. Is this order, he wondered, or a cage? The bell rang again. It was 12 o'clock. It is now the hour of exchange, Mirai said. We can talk now. Mirai, Horace asked, where does the bell sound come from? From the clock tower, the one in the center of the village. Horace paused for a moment, then asked, do you ever feel trapped here? Mirai gave a small sigh. Yes, she said softly. But I must get used to it. Everyone here follows the same path. Horace leaned closer. Want to go with me? This is the hour for conversations, isn't it? I have some questions for whoever controls that clock. Together, Horace and Mirai ran to the clock tower. A tall tower made of stone and iron. No guards, no locks, no signs. Why does no one come here? Horace asked. Because it always works, Mirai said. And when something always works, people don't question. They stepped inside. Dust filled the air. There was an old man standing in the middle of the room. The man looked at the two friends and then at the old pocket watch in Horace's hand. He smiled quietly. I've been waiting for you, Horace. My name is Eldon. Allow me to tell you a story. Your grandfather, Bennett Horace, came here long ago. This village was wild and broken. People lived with no order. So Bennett built this great clock tower and a schedule for the whole village. But he always reminded me a clock is a guide, not a cage. Eldon sighed. After he passed away, the village grew afraid. They thought, without strict rules, we would fall again. So they made new laws, more hours, more rules. Horace asked, if you knew this, why didn't you stop it? Eldon looked down at his hands. Because I was afraid to. And I couldn't stop the clock. He stood up and pointed to the great machine. This clock needs a key to stop, a real old key. And only Horace's family has it. Horace opened the back of the watch. Inside, hidden behind the metal plate, was a tiny key. The next morning, the village waited for the 8 a.m. hour of eating. But no bell came. People looked around, confused. Then, from deep inside the clock tower, a voice echoed. Time should guide, not bind. An old man gasped, that voice. That's the old village leader. Other villagers began to gather around the tower. I'm very happy to see you all here, the voice said warmly. But I must ask, why are you here? There is no hour for visiting the clock tower, is there? A few people chuckled softly. But others were more serious. We missed you. We needed your voice, we needed the bell. The voice replied gently, but tell me, did a bell guide you here? Silence fell, many shifted on their feet. You came because you cared, the voice continued, because you remembered me. The village began to murmur, did we just choose this? The voice became soft but clear, my villagers, you have grown so strong now. Perhaps you no longer need guidance for everything. From now on, we stop the hours. Not to break the village, but to give it back to you. To your hands, to your hearts, to your time. In the days that followed, there was some confusion. Some forgot what to do, some just stood still. But slowly, people began to choose for themselves. A woman ate breakfast at 9, a young man wrote poems. People shared tears and laughter anytime, anywhere. It took time, but the village grew more alive day by day. For Horace, he returned to the city with a smile. He made time to rest, to walk, and to watch the sky. Every week, he wrote a letter to Mirai by hand. Last time I checked, he promised to bring her to his city one day. For our girl Mirai, she was looking forward to seeing Horace again. She still visits Eldon at the clock tower regularly. In its place, he hung a smaller bell. Each morning, Eldon would ring it just once. Not to give orders, not to start a schedule, but simply to announce, welcome to your new 24 hours. Please make the best of your time. Let me explain some new words from these stories. Successful. Successful. Schedule. Schedule. Trade. Trade. Deadline. Deadline. Board. Board. Eatery. Eatery. Purpose. Purpose. record, record. Type, type. Order, order. Thank, thank. Wholesome, wholesome. Bully, bully. Silence, silence. Rest, rest. Disturb, disturb. Cage, cage. Exchange, exchange. Control, control. Question, question. Remind, remind. Afraid, afraid. Confused, confused. Guide, guide. Choose, choose. Lastly, let's answer the following questions. Question 1. Why did Horace feel proud of his scheduled life? Answer: because he believed it was the result of his hard work. Question 2. What was inside the mysterious brown box Horace received? Answer: a broken pocket watch with the words "Time is owed" and a note with a village name. Question 3. How did the villagers organize their daily lives? Answer: they followed a strict schedule where each hour had a specific purpose. Question 4. Why was Horace surprised during the hour of thanks? Answer: because not all gratitude felt genuine. Some people said thanks out of obligation, not true feeling. Question 5. What was Mirai's response when Horace asked if she felt trapped? Answer: she softly admitted that she did, but said she had to get used to it because everyone followed the same path. Question 6. What did Eldon reveal about the true purpose of the clock tower? Answer: that it was meant to guide the people, not to control them. Question 7. What happened to the village after the bell stopped ringing? Answer: people were confused at first but gradually started making their own choices and living more freely. Today's story is very meaningful, right? Do you like listening to short stories? Please share your thoughts in the comments below. Now, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Leave a comment on what you would like to learn next. See you next time. Goodbye.